Okay, here we are. Welcome to the Vic and Cam show. We're doing a podcast. We're doing this thing. My name is Vic Johnson. I'm a registered dietitian, sports dietitian. I work with endurance and mostly outdoor athletes. So mostly trail and ultra runners, cyclists, triathletes, occasionally skiers, mountaineers, anyone who likes moving in the outdoors and moving quickly and moving efficiently. Um, I got my undergrad degree at BYU in Utah. That's where I'm from. That was in psychology, and then I went on to get my master's degree in public health nutrition. It was kind of like a dual degree at Northern Arizona University, and that's actually when Cam and I met around that time. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Um, and besides being a coach and working with um, you know, amateur and elite athletes throughout the world, I also love to do this stuff too. So I'm pretty much always training for some sort of event, some sort of race, mostly trail and ultra running, but I do a little bit of cycling. I've done a fair bit of triathlon back in the day. Um, so I feel like that's one of the benefits of that athletes get working with me is that I kind of know what it's like to be in the trenches with them. So mostly kind of what that format is, how I work with athletes is one-on-one coaching. I also have an online kind of self-paced program that people can do. Um, but really my goal is to take kind of complex nutrition information and fueling information and boil it down to the most important things and have it put it in a way that's digestible. No pun intended. Uh, so maybe Cam, I don't know, introduce yourself
Yeah.
and
I'm Cam. I'm Cam, which is the Cam in the Vic and Cam show. Um, I'm a full name is Cameron Harder. I'm a physical therapist and an orthopedic clinical specialist, which basically just means that I treat musculoskeletal injuries. I've been a physical therapist for the better part of 9 years now, or like 8 years or so. Similar to Vic, I work mostly with endurance athletes, primarily runners, trail runners, road runners, everywhere from like the recreational everyday runner up to elite and pro trail runners and road runners. So, over the course of the years in my physical therapy career, I kind of started off in a clinic, just kind of seeing general orthopedic patients, and then I've kind of gradually transitioned into seeing predominantly runners over the last few years. And my business is a little bit unique in that I work with people predominantly online. So I don't go through the model of seeing one-on-one visits with people anymore, where we're actually meeting in person, primarily because at some point it kind of started feeling like I was just more of a babysitter rather than a physical therapist or a coach. But now I create programs for people that are sustainable and long lasting. So I pretty much just tell people what to do. They use an app and they do it themselves. So whether they're working through an injury, whether they're trying to improve their performance, we work together to build a good program that they can do long term rather than coming in and seeing me every once in a while. Um, I went to Northern Arizona University for my undergrad, went there for physical therapy school. I think it was around PTs. It was maybe what year did we meet, Vic?
it because we moved to Flagstaff, I think in 2018.
Okay, so I was already at PT by then.
Yeah, I think you were already PT, and I think it was that year that we met. If I
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so my main goal is just helping runners work through the things they need to work through to kind of get out there and run. And I think Vic phrased it well when he said that he just tries to take complex information and give it to his athletes in a way that's digestible. It's similar for me in the sense like there is a billion different resources that people can use for strength training or just exercises, but none of it's useful unless it's put together in an appropriate way. So I create an appropriate way to do that for people that's actually effective. And it's fun. And yeah, I like what I do. So yeah, that's what I do. That's what he does. We're here to share all of that with you guys in a long form uh, way. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm super stoked. Something we had in our notes here is like maybe introduce ourselves outside of like the context of our, training, racing, and coaching. Because we're also other people, right? We are both family guys. We're both married. We have super awesome and supportive wives. And we both have kids. That's a recent development for Cam. Pretty fresh, kind of still adapting to that. I mean, I still feel like I'm adapting to that. And we have a 3-year-old son. Um, his name is actually Eldon,
Yeah.
named after the mountain right in Cam's backyard, basically. Um, but yeah, we're really busy outside of work and training. Like we don't have a ton of spare time outside of that, but maybe some other things that I like to do besides spending time with my family. Um, People always like imagine or assume as a dietitian that I like love to cook, and I don't necessarily dislike it, but honestly, most of my meals every day are like kind of repetitive. Like I pretty much eat the same things every day. But something I have been getting into recently is Dutch oven cooking. I freaking love it. We have like a fire pit in our backyard, and so I've really liked like being involved on a more personal, I don't know, like primal level with cooking. It's really fun to like go make the fire, like stoke the coals, check on it, get in there. Um, and so that's been super fun. I feel like that's like my like old man dad hobby recently outside of running and the work that I do. So that's kind of a fun little aside about me. And I'm sure as we go through the podcast, you'll learn more and more about both of us. But that's kind of a little fun tidbit.
Thanks. Um, yeah, you've been on your Dutch oven kick for a while now.
Dude, hey, Dutch oven is
Trying to convert
fun.
us. We use our Dutch oven for like bread and stuff, but nothing beyond that. But we will if you keep badgering us, so I'm sure we will.
Dessert,
Um,
cobblers, man. That's where it's at.
but yeah, like Vic said, I'm a new dad. So I have a 3 month son, actually sleeping in the room right next to me. So I'm trying not to yell, but I'm still talking. And his name is Lyndon. And yeah, like Vic said, his son Eldon, I can look out my window right now and see the mountain Eldon, which is pretty cool. But yeah, our son Lyndon sitting in the room next to us, named after the tree. And it's been great. I mean, it's been crazy the last 3 months managing a completely new lifestyle of being a dad, of training still. Because something I didn't mention before is I am a runner as well. So my roots do come from running in high school and then not running for college, but kind of continuing to run recreationally in college and kind of jumping into the ultra scene, dabbling a little bit with like triathlon and stuff with the club
You
team at
on,
NU.
yeah, you were on the club team.
Yeah, but I was always very like I got disenchanted with the try scene really fast just because it felt expensive. And I was just a poor college student, and I was always watching these like Solomon videos of like Ricky Gates and stuff, like out, riding around on his little dual sport and just throwing caution to the wind and just going out and finding trails, or like Anton Kripicka or all these people where it would just pull me back to like trails and like, I just want to go be minimalist and just have a pair of shoes and just go run. But then I'd want to get really fit and go back to try. And then I'm like, well, crap, I only have $1,000 bike, but all these people have like $8,000 bikes. Like I can't possibly keep up with them. Or a helmet was like $900. I'm like, what? I can't do this. And then yeah, it was like you could buy speed in that sport so easily. So I'd go play around there for a little bit and go back to running. And And at the end of the day, yeah, my roots are just in running, and I always kind of fall back to it. Right now I train for everything, road races, trail races, done some like ski mountaineering races, which is super fun. I'm also like a pretty avid downhill skier, so really love that stuff. But yeah, managing training, managing a new family, managing running a business, it's a lot, but it's fun and it's doable, and it's yeah, it's just a completely different lifestyle right now. Yeah, because I mean, like Vic knows too, I mean, being a full-time dad and a full-time business owner, it's not easy because it's not just the work that you're doing, but it's not the work that you're doing with clients, but it's the work that you're doing outside of that, trying to keep everything running smoothly and all your systems in place, and then trying to make time for your family and trying to make time for yourself. And the days go by in a second. Like you open your eyes and then it's bedtime, and you're just like, where did the day go? Maybe that's just how I feel right now because I'm only 3 months into being a dad. Maybe that changes, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, it's different, but we're adapting well, and we love it. And I love my son so much, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about him. Maybe you'll get lucky and he'll wake up from his nap and you'll hear him cry. So you can hear it just like I do, which would be great.
A little nugget within the pod. Listen for
Yeah.
Lyndon's cry. Cam calls Lyndon Eldon all the time.
Accidentally, yeah. I don't know why. Maybe just because they sound similar, but I'll be like hanging out with them and I'll be like, Eldon, I'm like, crap, dang it. It's not your
I
name.
mean, they are kind of similar.
Yeah. I
But
think too,
yeah,
it's like I've been talking to a lot recently, and I see Eldon a lot recently. So I think ever since, I mean, I have become a dad, I feel like we've chatted more. Um, and I see Eldon all the time. Every time that
yeah,
we're chatting, Eldon's in the
yeah.
room.
We're always
Um,
FaceTiming,
so yeah,
same with Lyndon. It's
so I
fun.
think his name's just like floating around in there.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we should have just
Uh,
named him Eldon.
just yeah, Eldon number two.
Eldon, yeah.
Names are hard, as as we can attest with trying to name this freaking podcast.
Oh yeah, should we talk about that?
Yeah, well, it was just yeah, it was so hard. I mean, for now, we're going with the Vic and Cam show
Right,
because
not the Cam and Vic show.
well, I don't know. I thought we decided I thought we decided Vic and Cam.
Yeah,
We'll
Vic and
let the
Cam
people
show. Yeah.
decide, maybe. Um,
You beat
so
me out of 3 out of the 5 races that we've done, so you can name it the Vic and Cam show.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I maybe we'll just do it that way. Whoever's ahead in the top board, that's what we call the podcast.
Right. So once I get 2 more wins on you, then I'll stop racing you, and then we'll just leave it the Cam and Vic show.
See, but do we even count the bike race?
Yeah, I was counting the bike race.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you.
I mean, if we both do a race, I think it
Yeah,
counts. I think,
yeah,
yeah, Cam and
totally.
I have a little bit of a history of some competition between us. It's friendly mostly. But yeah, we've both done Speed Goat a couple times. Cam, you beat me both times.
Yeah, and smoked you.
Smoked me the second time.
Yeah,
Beat me by only a couple minutes the first time.
yeah. It's because you like to stop and hang out in the water, and that's when I passed you.
I was like, I stopped to dip my hat in this creek and Cam was gone. I also didn't have legs on that next climb, but yeah, he beat me fair and square. But then I've beat you at the Grand Traverse Run and Bike, which we both podiumed there. That was a fun race. Um, where else did I beat you?
The Mesa Marathon, just
Oh,
this last
marathon.
weekend.
Yeah, if you want to even count that though, because
Well,
Cam,
of course, we should count
I
it.
guess a DNF counts as losing.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I DNF'd at mile 14 because I just didn't have it. All of my stress manifested in my quads. So uh, I
Every
let Vic was in sights. We were like together most of the race, and I just kept going until my quads wouldn't function. And I just pulled off the side of the road, called my wife. She came and picked me up, and just
way
kind of
out.
pouted the rest of the day.
Easy way out. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk more about those recaps on another episode. But yeah, so we have a friendly little competition going. So maybe we'll play into that with how we're naming our
Well,
podcast.
anyway, yeah. So that's the name of the show. It's the Vic and Cam show, because not because we couldn't think of any good names. Literally, we thought of 100 amazing names for the show, all of which are taken.
All
So
the
we're
good ones were
just
taken. There were a
every
couple
single
like
good one.
cheesy ones that were like, we could do that, but it's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, we would come up with something and then we'd be super on board. Then we'd look it up and it's like, oh, that's taken. But their recent podcast was like 6 years ago, but still, it's
Yeah.
taken.
And it's like we know this is going to be a better podcast than those, obviously, but
Well, yeah, I'm
it's
shooting
still
for number
taken.
one ranked
Well,
in,
yeah, look for us
I
on
mean, we'll start
Spotify,
with the
Apple.
US, but probably the world. So,
World charts, here we
yeah,
come.
yeah.
And along those lines, as any good podcast hosts, go rate the show. That's what helps us the most. I don't even
Go
know how
rate
that
us.
works.
Unless you're going to rate us less than 5 stars, then don't rate the show. Just send us a message or something saying you don't like it.
Tell
But
us
if,
what to improve. Tell us what you want more or
yeah, but
less
if you
of.
like it, give us 5 stars
Yeah,
and say
it
something nice.
really will help
Yeah,
things. I think I don't really know how that works, but I'm sure it would help. But so purpose of this show and kind of how it came to be is we've been friends for a while, and we can get into that maybe a little bit on our first episode, our first real episode. Uh, but obviously we like training and racing. Running together is fun, and that's kind of maybe the theme that kind of brings us together as friends. Is like running sport centric. But we're also really good friends outside of that and share a lot of life similarities. We own our own businesses, also working with endurance athletes. Our businesses are actually kind of modeled very similarly in lots of ways. But then, our wives are really good friends. We've been really good friends in person. So we share a lot in common. And I feel like every time we talk, it's just it feels easy, at least on my end. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's forced on your end or whatever, but it feels easy and it feels like it flows and it's fun. And there's been a couple times where it's like, dang, I wish we were like recording this conversation because it's just like
people would pay to listen to
fun.
this.
Yeah, it's just like
I don't
fun.
know if they'd pay to listen to it, but they wouldn't like they would stick around at least.
They wouldn't dislike
Yeah.
listening. I
At
guess we'll see.
worst they'd be neutral about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we were like, well, what if we made a podcast? And not only can we just carry on in our organic conversations about whatever, but I think central to that podcast would be helping our audience, helping ultra endurance athletes and endurance athletes out there understand better the topics that we are self-proclaimed experts in. And so I want to share nutrition information and fueling information and make that readily available for people. And I already do that sometimes with posting and obviously coaching, social media and stuff. But I feel like a more long form is really helpful. Talking through issues and talking about things with nutrition. So that's kind of my goal with this pod. Cam, what's your goal?
Yeah. Well, one of the other goals and one of the other reasons that we started the show is also just because it's going to be like a dedicated weekly schedule that Vic and I just get a chat. So it's just basically scheduled chat time and recorded for you guys. So I get to hang out with my friend, which is pretty cool. Um, but on a less serious note, I also want to teach people about strength. My job can be, I mean, pretty all-encompassing in terms of like just anything physical in the body, in terms of rehabbing injuries, educating people about injuries, working on strength, working on balance, mobility, range of motion, stability, core, things like that. And there's so many different ways that someone can prime their bodies to be a good runner, prevent injuries, things like that. And I just want to help facilitate that information. I mean, most of the way that I do that now is whether I'm just currently educating my current clients or doing like quick Instagram posts or something like that, or the occasional blog post. But Instagram posts are kind of they're not fun. I mean, that you don't get that much information in a 10-second post. It's hard to relay real information and real ways to improve your running through strength work or rehab work, through those kinds of things. So doing something more long form where I can actually sit down and talk about things and explain things on kind of a more detailed level, I think would be beneficial for people. So really, yeah, any just trying to help anyone who's trying to put together some good strength work or rehab work.
And I can attest, I have been coached by Cam for over a year now, at least. And he was helping me unofficially, whenever I would have an injury or niggle or
And
whatever.
he just beat me. So,
And I just beat him, so something's working. I mean, I started that race with like broken shins, but
and by
besides,
the time he finished, it was healed and he just ran a marathon PR. So,
yeah, no, I mean things are working, and I feel stronger. I feel more mobile. I feel like I can absorb training the best I have. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't working and feeling good. My life is busy enough that that's something like that pushes other things out, but it's worth it to me because it works and it feels
yeah,
good. And I don't want to be an old man runner who can't move, you know.
which we're getting there. We're both getting there. I feel the age in my leg, in my quads. That's what it was. It's my age in my quads.
Catching up to you. It's the old man or the dad strength is the biggest myth that I've ever heard of. There's no such thing. Things get way hard when you're dad.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, way hard.
I don't get it because you don't have time to do anything. You're
Yeah,
you're you're up all night, so you're not sleeping, you're not recovering. Uh,
yeah. If someone knows where to find this dad strength,
yeah,
reach out to us, let us know, send us an email, and help us out.
end up a smoke signal because it's a myth. It doesn't happen. Things are harder. I mean, I'm 34. You're 32, you're 33,
33,
33.
33 and a half.
Oh, big flex there with the half a year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I mean, we're getting old. I think it's a little late for either of us to like be drafted by Hoka or like ACG at this point. I mean, never say never,
Yeah.
right? But we're like, I would say we're both sub-elite
Yeah,
athletes.
maybe we can at least get them to send us like a 5% discount code or something.
I mean, that's the least they could do. It
Dude,
will
well, yeah, sub elite, I would say. I just so I signed up for Broken Arrow this year again, and
the triple, right?
um,
Triple
yeah,
crown.
the triple, and for I think it was the 26K, you can sign up to be in the elite field if
Cool.
your time is like below a certain threshold. And last year my time was below that threshold, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll sign up for the elite field. So
Cam's going
according to
after the
Broken
prize
Arrow,
purse. Prize purse, baby.
yeah, it would be
There's a prize purse in that one, right?
the bottom of the elite field. Yeah, because it's sponsored by ACG now. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, instead of Solomon.
I think
So,
it's the biggest prize purse like yet in trail running, if I'm not mistaken.
hmm. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't look at prize purses because that's um it's
I
so
guess we're
far.
we're sub elite. We're
Yeah,
both not getting that most of the time.
yeah.
Um, but no, we're so stoked for this podcast. We are
Oh,
going.
answer this question. Who is
Oh,
this podcast for? Who should be listening to it?
who should be listening to this? So, if you are an endurance athlete, you should be listening to this podcast.
Yeah,
We don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into like only focusing on elites or only focusing on, amateur, middle of the packer, back of the packer people. You all need the stuff that we're going to be talking about. And that's not just like some marketing gimmick trying to say that. Like it's true. Everyone needs to eat. Everyone cannot get through most of their races unless they're fueling and hydrating and keeping track of those variables well and practicing those and knowing what to look for, knowing how to do that. And it's really, really hard to do well in races and training if your body's falling apart all the time. And so you need what Cam is giving you. So really, anyone who is interested in improving their um their athletic performance and just their overall general health will benefit from the things that we are talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Any endurance athlete should listen to this show. Any non-endurance athlete, you should too.
You should too. And maybe, yeah, maybe the banter will appeal to you more than the actual, meat of the show or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's so many variables in ultra endurance and endurance sports. Um, and it is tricky to balance all of them. It's tricky to know how much time and energy and resources to put into each of these different buckets. And probably the training volume is probably what's, doing what you're going to be doing while you're racing. So whether that's cycling or running or whatever, like doing that activity probably should make up the bulk of what you're focusing on to get better at that activity. But then there's all these other buckets that are so important and that are pieces of the puzzle. And nutrition and fueling and strength training and rehab are two of those other buckets that are so important. And as you see more and more professional athletes become more professional, they're building these teams around them. I mean, Cam and I actually work with a lot of the same athletes um, in the sport. I mean, I think I don't think she would mind, but like Tara Dower is a great example of this, who is like really good at like building a team around her. And Cam and I have both been a part of that team, and it's cool to like see her benefit from building this professional team. And you don't have to be professional to do that, right? Like you can benefit from having the support you need in all these different realms. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's, yeah, I mean, that's just true in general, right? When you go into a task with a team-oriented mindset where you are asking people for help, where people are kind of filling in those knowledge gaps or filling in those different gaps that you aren't quite getting in your training or really any type of project or task that you're doing, you're going to be more successful because one person is just not good at everything, you know. um the runner is really really great at running, but they might not know how to program their strength, and they might not know about nutrition. They might not even be great at writing their own running, which is why they all have running coaches, right? It takes like a team of people to be able to make that athlete whole and help them be successful. And you see the most successful athletes surrounding themselves with experts in one field. So it's not one person kind of doing everything.
for sure. So we're both super excited for this show. We are open to suggestions and comments. And we'll try to talk about the things that we think will be interesting and the most helpful as we go through this. And I'm sure the podcast will kind of take its own shape as we move, and we want to kind of keep it open as to how we're structuring it and that sort of thing. But we're really excited. I think this has kind of been a long time coming, and I'm glad we're getting going now.
It's going to be super fun.
All right, so
Cool. Yeah,
we'll
that's a good intro.
yeah, see you guys in episode 1 soon.